remember very well, I got to a point last year and I told God, I am broken. Let me tell you, I would come do the podcast. I would do tie the knot, but bro, I was broken inside. I was going through the worst. And I remember going to God and I'm like, God, I am going through this. I don't think I can do this podcast anymore.
Hi, Bonnie. My name is Arnold Ahimbisiwe. Last night, actually, I was listening in to the Ugandan Boy podcast when you hosted APAS. I was listening in audio, really, on my Podbean. So the breakdown of the Miracles album was really, really dope. I love the fact that you took your time to listen to the album and then you heard the artist talk about the ins and outs of making every song on the album. And actually, straight from listening to that episode, I went on my Spotify and played the entire album, bro. And like every song I'd listen to, I'll be relating it with the story of the making, which APAS had with every particular song. And bro, that was really, really dope. You're doing amazing, man. Big shout outs.
I mean, bro, I wouldn't be on this platform just...
Step one is to make money. If you're not making money, you realize that, oh wow,
you have a profile that people can sort of look up to, and
there's so much you can achieve through baby steps. And guess what? Those baby steps.
Yeah, I'm from a beautiful place, the Pearl of Africa. Hailing with a 256, it's in my blood. That's a gem where the mountains rise. With stories and tall, the tapestry of colors unfolding so vibrant and bold. A symphony of stars, a celestial light. The drums beating and going through the night, just like a beacon of light. A reflection that's coming up from the now. I'm flowing straight into the heart of Africa with timeless stories untold.
Are you looking for a space that brings your ideas to life? Welcome to Danceoff Studios. Whether you're recording a podcast, shooting content, creating music, or building your brand online, this is where quality meets creativity. From professional audio production and clean visuals to a comfortable creative environment, Danceoff Studios is built for creators who take their work seriously. You need a podcast setup, a professional shoot, music recording, live production, or outdoor event. They've got the team, the equipment, and experience to make it happen. They are conveniently located in Chiwatule opposite Oryx Petrol Station. Danceoff Studios is becoming one of the go-to creative spaces for artists, brands, influencers, and storytellers in Uganda. Your content deserves quality. Your ideas deserve the right place. Book your session today at Danceoff Studios. Check them out on all social media platforms. Create boldly, create professionally, and create with Danceoff Studios. Welcome back to the Ugandan Boy Talk Show, and I'm your host, Bonnie Chibuka. And today's guest is a proof that sometimes the greatest purpose begins as a joke. He started making people laugh as a comedian, stepped into wedding stages with nothing but confidence and a microphone, found his voice on radio, graced the television, became one of Uganda's most recognizable MCs. And today, millions know him as Romantic Mukiga, a storyteller whose conversations are restoring marriages, rebuilding relationships, and reminding people that love is worth fighting for. He is the host of Tie the Knots, Mwena Mujimanyayo, a famous podcast, a corporate event MC, actor, and a former comedian, and one of the most authentic voices in Uganda media. Ladies and gentlemen, Collins Bareija Magyezi is on the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you. It's Bareija. Collins Bareija.
Collins Bareija Magyezi. Is that
yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
But thanks for the correction, because sometimes you know what's funny? I'm glad you corrected me, because until yesterday I knew Collins, but since I met you using Emeka, even in my phone there is Emeka Collins. There is Emeka. So I never took time to know your last name.
Actually, most people do not know the other names, but I'm trying so hard to always introduce myself as Collins Bareija. Then I'm like, my friends know me as Emeka, the Romantic Mukiga. But I love the Bareija name. It was given to me by my late dad. Yeah.
Because before when I was doing my research for the conversation, I was like, do you know you don't know this guy's last name? Collins.
A lot of people don't know.
And by the time I met you, it was Emeka, and then we came to a Romantic Mukiga. When we get the nicknames, even people start calling me Ugandan Boy. Time will come that they don't know my name, but man, Ugandan Boy.
Even one time, one of my aunties forgot my surname. In the village, even my grandmom calls me Emeka.
Yeah. But Collins, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm great. God is good. God is doing amazing things. We're moving.
This is the collaboration that many people were not expecting, probably, or didn't know was coming. And that's how I like to cook my things in Mpola.
I know. They didn't see it coming.
But I also, before the cameras went on, I was telling you, I think on this podcast, people will realize how long, like how you and I are connected, like from a long time ago.
It's 10, I think it's 11, 12 years there.
11, 12 years there.
Yeah.
So the vivid time I remember, I came to La Bonita. I think I was going to watch your show at that time.
Yes.
Then we came early. What's I song? Then we sat at the restaurant that's in there. You, me, and I think I was with Abe. And then we're just talking, and we're just talking about dreams. Yeah, we're talking about like dreams, how men we're going to make it, how we're going to achieve. I think I had just come back to...
You had just come back from Canada, and I remember you were studying to become a pilot. From the US. You're studying to become a pilot. Then me, I was like, Wanak, this man here. Then I wanted to tell you to carry me in your bags.
Yeah.
Then as you're flying the plane, me, I be cleaning the aeroplane.
I remember that conversation very. What were Sumbusa like at the cafeteria there?
Man, those La Bonita samosas that were of 10K, one samosa of 10K.
Exactly.
Yeah, but those were good times. Those were really good times. I remember you told me you believe in what I do. I was like, whatever pilot hanzikirizamu.
It's funny that we are reflecting on these memories because a lot of people have messaged me like, hey man, I like your podcast. And the other guy, the Romantic Mukiga. There's actually one person who commented on one of my posts, Nangamba. You look like the Romantic Mukiga, but like you guys are alike or something like that.
Really?
But I think they were like, they love your content. I do appreciate your content. We're going to talk about that here today and how you've grown, how you've changed, how everything. I wanted to bring that back because I've seen you from those days when we are trying to like, Tuiriba. People are Kuiriba these days.
What Tuiriba now? You're a planned kid. Bonnie, you're a planned kid. A person who has studied in the US. Yeah, you studied aviation. Now you are a mechanic. Do they call them aeronautic engineers? Aeronautic engineers. Do you have Chiseka market of aeroplanes in the US? Suspension you're there assembling engines. You're a planned kid.
The thing is though, like that. So now this is the future. Like yes, I made it, but at that time, man, I was kind of struggling. Yes, I was in the US. Nengo struggling, like you're in school, you don't have bichi. Yes, it might be a different kind of Kuiriba, but yeah, he was
I know.
God was never there.
Because for most times, one thing I've realized is that you will have that career of yours you're doing, but there's a dream you always have and a dream you always have to pursue. So I'm glad that, despite the fact that you're assembling aeroplanes, you're working on aeroplane engines. I've seen you assemble an aeroplane and I'm like, this is good, but you have a dream of telling stories, and man, it's something that in future might feed you and your whole clan and your whole generation.
Exactly.
Someone was telling me the same thing. They're like, hey man, what you're doing is great. You never know where it's going to take you. You never know the kind of lives you're impacting. And I'm glad you're doing this. I'm glad.
Thank you. And that brings me to, yes, at that time when we met, I don't think I had a podcast at that time.
Yeah.
None of us did. When was the first time you found out about my podcast? And kind of we're talking about it still like off camera. When I said this thing gave you Saga.
I remember, when did you start? I think was it like 2019, 2020.
2020.
Yeah, so
2020.
Podcasting was not a thing in Uganda. And I remember I only knew 3 podcasters. I knew you. There was Suna Ronald. Then there was
I remember Suna,
Mark Caron.
Okay.
Macaron. So those were like the only 3 podcasts I knew in Uganda. Podcasting in Uganda has just started booming.
Evolved,
I think
yeah.
it started booming and evolving in the past 2-3 years. Past 2-3-4 years, that's when podcasting has started booming. And in like in the last 2 years, man, Ugandans have started putting up podcasts. Ugandans have gotten to know that, man. Podcasting is the in thing. You even see people who retired from government, retired CEOs. Kasuku calls it akantu. Abantu batandisa akantu.
Oh, it's okay, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah. So I got to know about your podcast. I think it was in 2019. Then I remember, I think around 2022, Pulse nominated you for Podcaster of the Year, man. You won those awards, which was a really good thing. And your podcast was just growing, which made me realize that now Ugandans have actually started embracing podcasts. But there's where they made a mistake. There's a difference between YouTubers and podcasters.
Exactly.
You get? There's a difference. I'll give you an example. People say but I'll give you an example. You know what the Uganda YouTubers are doing? That is YouTubing. For podcasting is way different from that. Now you'll find yourself being nominated in a podcast category, and they've nominated you alongside Sheila Price Nogama.
YouTube.
You understand? You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm glad for I think were they 2 or 3 consecutive years you won Podcast of the Year, and I was like, now this guy actually deserves it because it was now a real podcast. Yeah. So after that, man, podcasts have grown and they are growing each day that goes by.
It is really amazing. And I'm proud of everybody who is coming out and do podcasts. There's now like a lot of amazing podcasts in Uganda. Shout out to the Mob Jazz. Shout out to It's Never That Serious. Shout out to
Mob Jazz. It's Never That Serious. Man, Sabrina Agasha. Sabrina, I know you're going to watch this. Going, how we have hustled with Sabrina right from that radio of Red Pepper. What was it called? I worked there for some time. I've worked with Sabrina Agasha on I've forgotten that radio, but it was owned by Red Pepper. Sabrina Yakuba Hasso.
You were talking about, is that the radio station you were talking about?
No. I'm not going to. Now, let me tell you the radio station I started with. Let me start with my journey.
No, actually, wait. I've prepared that conversation for us.
But let me tell you the radio I started.
Okay, let's start.
The radio I started
with. Is that FMJ?
With FMJ. I'll not mention the pastor, but I went there when I was in my first year, when I was a fresher. So I met a gentleman called Tony Smart. I met him at a wedding. He was emceeing the wedding, and for me, I'd gone to perform comedy. It was a Christian wedding. So after nailing it, everyone was happy. Then I remember a friend called Gideon the Prodigal. So Gideon the Prodigal, I told Gideon, man, I want to work on radio, and I was told you work on radio. So Gideon is like, let me give you a number of a guy who's going to put you on radio. So he sent me Tony Smart's number, and he tells Tony, Emeka is going to reach out. So on texting him, this is the guy who gave me the wedding gig. I'm like, hey, Tony, you're the one. He's like, yeah, you come over. So I spoke with him, and he told me, by the way, the very first day I saw you performing at the wedding, I knew you were really good radio material. I'm like, nice. So he's like, you come on Monday. Come on Monday, we have a chat. We chatted. Then he's like, on Monday, he's like, come tomorrow and start working. Just like that. So I went on Tuesday and I started working. We hadn't discussed salary structure. So he's like, man, you know our Ugandan pastors. You people will know the pastor. But I'm glad Tony Smart gave me that opportunity because every time I was from campus, I'd get done with my lectures. It was a drive show from 3 to 7 p.m. I was working with a lady called Sandra Wendy. I think there were issues with salary. Then Sandra Wendy left the station. Then they left me on the station. And I had to rebuild the FMJ drive show. I remember capturing the hearts of campusers who are in the gospel circles. Every time I would go to gospel events, they're like, you're the guy. So I kind of built a name. Then I remember you're not being paid. Once in a while, your manager, Tony Smart, is giving you transport back. You come, you have to hustle for lunch. Then I remember, still there was a Uganda radio that I'm not going to mention, but it's still big and famous. One of the guys working there for the TV was called Kabata. At times when I had no transport, Kabata would drop me somewhere. Kawata would give me transport. He would give me what to eat. Man, being first year campus. So yeah. So I remember one time I met the pastor and I told him, hey, but pastor, give me some money. He's like, how many months have you been working here? I told him I've been working here for like
You're
7
begging
months.
for your own salary.
Yeah, begging for my own salary. Because I remember other guys from the radio were demanding money. So he's like, okay, you're demanding 7 months. I'm going to give you 3 months. With the other ones, we leave them. We start on a new chapter. So when he gives you the 3 months, he deducts tithe from for the church.
Oh my God.
That's why we used to call first tithe.
Mujoga.
Great. So, but I'm glad I got that experience, because had I not gone through that experience, man, I would not be the Emeka I am. I would not be the Emeka on radio. Because I remember there are times the radio would go off, you would have issues with UCC, signals, radio goes off for like 2 months. So 2 months you're seated, you're trying to hustle, trying to survive on upkeep. At times you're home. Then they announce, okay, now the radio is back, come back and work. So you announce we are back on air. You hit it, have a good time. Boom. After 4 months, signal is off. Then on calling the pastor. On calling the pastor, man, pastor, we have to pay now. This one has died. The man is in the US chilling. He's like, let me think about it. Such things.
I think from that story, I learned a lot of things, and I like to respect you guys, to give you respect, because think about it. How do you use somebody to work and he gets the motivation to come back tomorrow? But they still show up, and people still show up. 4 months go on without paying them, but this person is still waking up. Now Jack Radio, now Chikuba.
Because
so
I remember one time I hosted Levikson, and Levikson told me off air, he told me, man, you're working here, you're a born-again Christian, and I love what you're doing. He's like, but you're not material for here. He told me, man, you're material for KFM. He told this to me in he told it to me in 2016. He's like, man, you're KFM material. And boom, I'm working on KFM.
Yeah. Anyway, Collins, I've prepared this conversation to just go through it. But on this podcast, I have a few segments that we go through. I want to start with those. I have a this or that. It's kind of like a game. It's a breaking ice. But like with you, I don't need to break ice. We broke our ice in 2015. So like right now, we just kick it. Like people can see the conversation just started and we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But people enjoy this segment where I ask you 2 things. You're going to pick one. Feel free to explain why you're picking that and dropping the other. Or feel free to tell me, I don't really have an explanation, but this is my answer. But 2 things you can't say. You can't say both and you can't say neither. You're going to have to pick one.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. You ready?
I'm ready.
Radio or podcast? Yeah.
Why are you putting him? You're putting me in a tight spot, man. You're putting me in a tight spot.
You can't say both and you can't say neither. You're going to have to pick one.
You man. That's a tight one. But I'm not going to be on radio for long. I can even do podcasting for 20, 30 years. Yeah, podcast. But radio put me up there. Yeah.
Comedy or MCing?
MCing. I think MCing. Okay. Comedy gave me the platform. But you see, currently in Uganda, you have to be creative. You're not going to be on stage. Comedy just gives you the stage, it gives you the exposure, and that leads you to MCing. MCing pays you the bigger money.
Live audience or studio audience?
I've performed for both, and you said neither or both, but I'd do studio, but maybe I'll try live, because I've even done live audiences. For now, let's go with studio.
And that's why I pick these things. So I choose 2 things that you've done or like your life has been a part of, and I make you choose like one. And that's why it gets harder, and it's fun for the people to, even it's fun for me to like see you struggle and just struggle to pick one. So I enjoy it.
Yes.
This one is planned marriages or the usual marriage of love, because I put this one on here because the last time I hosted somebody, the girl was saying, I'm so mad. My parents says, I'm so mad that parents these days are no longer doing planned marriages. I've struggled to find a man. I wish parents were still doing like, hey, look for it dono. I don't know. How would you?
Bonnie, you're going to make me say things, but let me tell you this. I think we go back to the eras of planned marriages. Why? In our culture, in our language, we say oshwerabuza. Ashwerabuz. He who marries needs to first ask. You do research of where you're going to marry. You get it? And I'll tell you this. Most of our parents were in planned marriages. Most of our grandparents were in planned marriages. But for you to get into that planned marriage, these families knew each other. They definitely knew each other. And by the time they get you into that planned marriage, bro, they already know the family. They already know the girl. But for us, in this generation, we are marrying out of emotions, out of our own hearts. You meet a girl today, after 6 months, you want to marry her without getting to know them deeper. But by the time our people, our parents, our ancestors did planned marriages, they would have done more research about this person, about the family. For us, you come now, you go to your Katera Rome, who's like a go-between. He's like, do you know? They're like, I know them. By the time he gets to know who the family is, what they actually do, who they really are, who this person you're marrying is, man, things have gone south. So I am for planned marriages. Bring back planned marriages. Planned marriages. I think we're going to advocate for it.
I like the explanation you gave because actually I never thought about it in that way, like where the parents actually do the groundwork, the research. Yes, we might be against it because we're Gen Zs and millennials. And
we are not doing enough groundwork, Bonnie. You meet a girl today here, you meet a girl on social media, you meet a girl where you see her, like I think you date for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, 7 months. Like, nah, I think she's the one without doing extensive research. But by the time people had to plan marriages, they knew who the auntie's friend is, who the auntie's best friend is, who she has been with. And they're like, okay, now I think she's a good fit. And these people would get to know each other and they would talk and they would know we have to make this work because our families go together. And these are marriages that worked. They are really marriages that worked. So yeah, planned marriages.
The last one, fame or peace?
Man, peace. There's a cost that comes with fame, Bonnie. There's a cost that comes with fame. I'll tell you this. I think I've learned how to handle fame because I got famous when I was young. I got famous at the age of 19 when I was in my Form 6 vac. That's when I started getting attention. You're on Urban TV, you're on NTV. I mean, you're doing comedy, Kings of Comedy. You're doing mic check comedy. Still at 19, I got my first international gig in Kigali, got onto a plane. Man, you've nailed Kigali, you've nailed that Radisson Blue, that center of theirs, that round thing.
Convention or something.
That convention center. There's a time I hit Serena Hotel, Kigali. It was a full house, full of big people. When I was just 19 years, man, you've left Kigali, you've made headlines in Kigali, you come back to Uganda, you feel like you're the in thing. We made mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes, man. Things people do for fame. But with time, as I've grown, I've realized that peace is the best. There is no use of being famous and you're not peaceful. Because with fame comes depression. With fame comes a lot of suicidal thoughts. With fame comes a lot of pressure. With fame comes a lot of things. I have experienced all that. I have been suicidal before. I was suicidal even just recently. I was, but the cost of fame and man, it's too much. It's too much. And I learned that, okay, in my next life, wink, wink, it's just going to be private. It's going to be private because what's going to be out there, it's going to be my work, the things I do, but I'll keep my private life to myself because I have seen what it can do. I've seen. So peace over fame.
Peace over everything. And I like to elaborate on that. Usually I let my guests answers, but I think with me, it's different. I was never famous and I grew up in a humble background. I say this most people know me through this podcast now. And they like to put you up there because...
Have you told people you're a son of a pastor?
Bachimani, our podcast, this is
No, me, I know this boy. I know From way back.
When I sit down with the makers, when I sit down with APAS, when I sit down with the people that have come to be on the podcast, and with this podcast, people have known me. But it's different for me that I knew who I was before this podcast. So I still hold on to that. And I want me to be the same as I was. Like, yes, people are going to shout, oh, the Ugandan Boy Talk Show, hey, he has won awards, hey, he has done this. Yeah. But like with me, I like to keep my peace, and like I love to keep my life and my humble, and like, peace over everything right now. Like
peace over everything.
So I agree with you 100% about peace, and I'm glad that you shared that with us, and just about your life, and seeing that now you just focus on peace, and peace brings a lot of good things in your life. So anyway, that was my this or that, and we're going to the main story. I like to do something special with every guest that I get, and I think you see the guests and you're like, okay, this is what I want to do with this conversation, because some of these guests, they have done a lot of interviews. So a lot of people might know everything about Emeka, but with this interview, and somebody just messaged me, Bonnie, we miss your interviews where I use pictures to tell people the story or the journey and how everything is done. So I selected a few pictures of your journey ever since I met you, your achievements. So we're going to do the next conversation, just going through pictures. You should look at one picture at a time. The
device that has the picture. You didn't brief me about this. Brief me about
I like the natural respect.
All right. This is going to be fun.
But
wow. I've seen the first one. Oh my goodness.
Before even I say anything, tell us what comes in your mind when you see the picture.
When I see this picture, I see a young Emeka who was so ambitious. A boy who came out of nowhere. I just had dreams. I had a dream. I'll tell you where this all started from. Teacher Mpamire, the comedian. He was my high school teacher. He was teaching me history in school.
He was actually an actual teacher. Me, I thought the name he just got it for comedy.
So no, now we have the actual teacher Mpamire. The real teacher Mpamire. The real teacher Mpamire is the real teacher.
Okay.
He's actually like an uncle. I know him. Now the teacher Mpamire, the comedian, is also a teacher. I was taught by both of them.
Oh, wow.
Now, the comedian teacher Mpamire gets his character from the real teacher Mpamire, because the original Mpamire is a funny guy. A funny guy. And if you get to know the meaning of the word Mpamire, like, I don't want to get into it. Just from the name. So I met teacher Mpamire, the comedian, and I told him I wanted to do what he does, because by the time I joined the school where he was teaching, he was from the States. And so he's the one who mentored me into this. So this picture just reminds me a lot about I was at campus, as in my second year. Yeah. I remember I nailed this show very well.
Was that La Bonita?
It was Theatre La Bonita. This was Theatre La Bonita.
What do you remember about that night?
That night, I was paid 7,000 shillings.
I remember those La Bonita days.
The La Bonita days were fun. Good and sweet and sour. This was brings back all those memories.
But during that time, also being a comedian, like, brought many opportunities to you, meeting different people. And this will bring me to my next picture, meeting Pablo. Tell me about that picture.
So this evening, I remember very well, I was from hostel, and we were coming for the Pablo live show. It was my first time meeting him. I told him who I was, and he made a statement and said, I see myself in you, the way you're expressing yourself. Yeah, so I asked for a picture, and when I asked for the picture, I posted it, and guys were like, oh, hey, guy, you have reached out to say, hey. Yeah. I remember I just sat in the audience. I watched all the guys performing. I remember this night, Ronnie McVex performed, beautiful performance. Pablo performed. I do not remember the other performers who came through.
What is something that Pablo, or watching his journey, or even the things he has told you over the time that still helps you till today, even outside comedy, that now you reduce your time in comedy or you left comedy?
One of the things Pablo told me was, Emeka, you need to think of your life outside comedy, and also you do not need to look at the fame. You do not need to look at the girls that are overhyping you. He told me, you must live a life that is filled with purpose. So he asked me, what is your purpose? What do you want to do? Then I told him what my purpose was. I just told him I want to tell stories. That's what I said. I want to tell stories that bring healing to people. I want to tell stories that are going to bring impact to people. So he said that should be reflected in your jokes. It should be reflected in what you do on radio. And maybe one time when you get onto TV, I'd never thought that I would be on a podcast. I'd never thought that I would have a podcast. But in my heart, I knew I would be on TV one day. I'd be on TV one day. So he told me, in your heart, in your life, in whatever you do, make sure you do something that is purpose-filled, something that is going to create impact in people's lives. So we used to do school tours with him, doing HIV/AIDS advocacy, where we would go with artists, comedians, and people who have lived with HIV, and they would tell their stories. And I was like, okay, now let me start thinking of something in that direction. So yeah, this picture brings back memories. Yeah,
that's amazing, and this is why I love this segment. Like, so I did this with Uncle Mark because you guys have done everything. But
that idiot! Oh my God, Uncle!
But I figured like this would be a good.
Should I tell the story or I wait for later?
But anyway, for me, what I remember, I used to watch a lot of Pablo comedy, and one of the things that stayed with me, I don't even remember what year I watched it, but he was like, I came from Emparo. We receive Monday newspapers on Wednesday. That was like a joke, he said. I'll never forget that.
One of his iconic performances I'll never forget is the performance he had at a night of 1,000 laughs in Kenya. So Pablo originally was not supposed to be on that show. So I think one of the Nigerian comedians got held up. So they got Pablo on a quick flight to come to from Uganda to Kenya. And that show had Eric Omondi, it had Clint the Drunk. Did it have Basket Mouth? I don't think it. No. It had the highlight performer was Clint the Drunk, but there was a comedian who didn't make it, so they brought Pablo. Pablo didn't have time to like rest and refreshen up and get ready. No, from the airport straight to KICC, he went onto stage. Pablo was the highlight performer. He was that video. People who used to hawk CDs of Pablo's performance, and that's one thing I'll never forget about him.
The reason why I started with your comedy, because I know in one of the things you mentioned, and people nowadays don't see you do comedy because you've mentioned you've left comedy. So that's why I wanted to bring up, because some of the people know you now because of the Tie the Knot podcast.
Tie the Knot, radio, emceeing, TV.
Yeah, I like to go back and just people to know your journey for the people who...
So reason as to why I left comedy, I realized, Bonnie, I was not bringing something new. I got to a point and I felt like, okay, I had hit my peak, but I wanted to do something new. I wanted to do something different because comedy helped get me that platform. When I tell you I hit my peak, Bonnie, I hit my peak. I was nominated with Basket Mouth and Salvador for African Comedian of the Year in Adara Awards in 2018. I had performed in Zambia that day. I had like 3 performances in Zambia, one in Zimbabwe. We had toured South Africa. And by the time COVID hit, I was supposed to go to Australia for the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. I was supposed to go to London for another comedy festival. There's another festival I was supposed to perform at where Trevor Noah was going to be headlining, then COVID hit. So when we went home into lockdown, I started doing these comedy videos, funny clips that, we're kind of moving, but I realized that, okay, now everyone has done it and I'm not doing something new. So that's the time when Uncle Mo came onto the scene. And when Uncle Mo came onto the scene, he brought a very new feel. Now you guys have just seen Uncle Mo now. Where Uncle Mo Mukade. You know, wait, Uncle Mo is old. No, shout outs to you, Uncle Mo. I know we don't talk now. No, Uncle Mo is old. I remember there's a time in 2015, Uncle Mo came to La Bonita. Uncle Mo put up a Dave Chappelle performance. People had never seen it before. And guys are like, who the heck is this guy? And from that time, he never came back. But he put up a performance that people look at like, bruh, in Uganda, we can have a Dave Chappelle. In Uganda, we have a person that can put up a Chris Rock kind of performance. He had a stool, he had a glass. Okay, I remember that glass mwalimu waraji, but yes, netuloza mazi. So when he came onto the scene, I looked at him like, okay, yeah, he's brought something new. You're not going to copy what he does. But even me inside, I felt God told me, like, I prayed about it. I was like, God, have I reached the end of my comedy career? And God was like, you have done what you've done. Channel your energies and creativity into something new. So that's when I put more energy into radio. I put more energy into emceeing, and I started preparing myself for TV, and I got a TV opportunity. I hosted a show called Take Me Back on Power Magic Prime. Shout outs to you, DSTV Power Magic Prime, Judithiana and Joel Ndugwa. They're the guys that gave me that big TV deal that was out there. And after Take Me Back, then I started thinking till Tide the Note was born. We shall get to that.
And one thing I've learned from that, usually when people talk, I like to pick out something, like learn. It's okay to know that you've hit a peak. It's okay to let one of my guests, Logose, she's 19 years old. She said this thing on the podcast.
I like Logose. I just need to sit down and have coffee with Logose.
Yeah, she is a smart young girl. She said it's okay to let dreams go that no longer serve you. And now you open doors for more, because you're doing great with Tie the Knot. It is amazing. I just finished watching your podcast. We're going to talk about it with
MC
Kat. It's amazing. I've watched Pumbala on there. I've watched a lot of people. The stories you're bringing, it's something like really like we need in Uganda, which we're going to talk about. But yeah, that's what I learned. Like, it's okay to let go of dreams that don't serve you. It opens doors for others. But still, during your comedy journey, you met another picture, Alex Muhangi. Tell me something about Alex Muhangi.
So this picture, we were not in Uganda. This was my first international gig.
Oh, nice.
In Kigali. So I remember that year, this was 2015. I was in my first year, second semester. We were going to start second year. So we went for a friend's wedding. She's called Chance Uwase. She's Rwandese. So when we go for Chance's wedding in Rwanda, we used road because it was a road trip with our friends, and I was in talks with the biggest comedian in Rwanda, Arthur Nkusi. So I told him, hey, I'm in Kigali. So he's like, cool, let's meet up. So I get a border. They call them moto. I get a moto up to Kiss FM. I think he still works at Kiss FM. I'm not so sure. So I went up to Kiss FM. Then I struggled with Runyarwanda, Kinyarwanda. I struggled. Shaka kuza, here. Then I ended up speaking Ruchiga. I'm like, biti wemwa, ndikuza Kiss FM ora hamanya. And guess what the guy said? He's like, hey, ni woriyo mchiga. I'm like, ni woriyo mchiga. He's like, ndiyo mchiga wo munyarwanda nyowe ndakorera kunu bakanzarira kunu konkoru chiga ndarugamba. I'm like, ntwara. So he charged me way less than he normally charges. He even waited for me. So I met Arthur Nkusi, and I told him, he's like, I've watched you, and we're having like a big show in, I think it was going to be November. Yeah, he told me we're having a big show in November. Then we will invite you. So after that, he asked, because he's good friends with Alex Muhangi. Muhangi had been there many times. So he asks Muhangi, who is Emeka? Looks like Muhangi gave them data. Muhangi was like, he's a good guy. He's one of the new guys, the new kids on the block that are doing very well. So Alex Muhangi said having him on this show would be something great, not only for his career, but also for you guys, because I believe you need new kids on the block from Uganda that are going to bring a new feel. So Muhangi gave a pass for me. So here we were backstage after, this was after my performance.
The next picture, still in your comedy journey, you meet this famous comedian, Eric Omondi.
Eric Omondi, wow. I'd gone to Nairobi. Now this is the year 2018. So 2018, I remember I was from a heartbreak in 2017. But I said 2018 is a year that I'm going to elevate myself and my career. So I hit the road and went to Nairobi through a friend called Tumbili. He's one of the big comedians in Kenya. So he was housing me at his place and I was set to perform at the Churchill show. So on one of those days, we are moving on the streets of Nairobi. Actually, not in the streets. We were walking around Karen. There's that area. I think it's the Muyenga of Nairobi. It's called Karen. Yeah, so Eric Omondi spots us. He spots Tumbili. Hoots at Tumbili. He's like, where Tumbili unaenda wapi? He's like, I'm here with my Ugandan friend. He's like, hey, you. I normally see you when I'm in Kampala. I'm like, hey. So he took that picture and we had a really beautiful conversation. We talked and I told him how I was going to perform at the Churchill show. So he gave me tips. He went through my jokes. He's a very creative guy. Yeah, so he went through my jokes and he's like, now these jokes are going to work. They're really going to work. And I think on the day of my performance, he was there at the Churchill show. Yeah, after that performance, he was like, yeah, you really did great. But we took this picture a day before my performance at the Churchill show in Kenya.
I like Eric Omondi. He's one of I love comedy. And that's the reason when you were talking back in those days when we first met, I was actually like super happy. I was like, I know a famous guy because you were my friend. I'm like, I'm proud. Like, hey, that guy, he's a famous. You know those days, these famous people were hard to reach to. So like when I'd met you and I see you on TV, I see you in La Bonita, I know that guy. He's my friend. He's my friend. So I had something to lean on to hold to. So anyway, we got to, it was amazing to cover your comedian journey. And for a lot of people who don't know you through your comedy, who have just known you through your podcast, it's always good to recap and have those fun moments because I even saw your face every time you looked at the picture. I think it took you back in that moment.
Yeah,
you're like, man, this was time. But it brings me to, and before we go to the next picture, the wedding MC. You coming to MC. You guys had something going 360 degrees or something like that?
360-degree MCs, yeah. Yeah, so it's a group of friends. There's Uncle Mark, me, OJ, and Laptop. He's called now Sir Jose Rabotomize. These are guys that mentored us into MCing. When we were at campus, they were getting done. They had finished. But they mentored us into MCing, Pablo inclusive. They mentored us and they started that group of 360-degree MCs. There's Gilbert, there's Nicholas, there's Caesar Oyo. Caesar is now in Germany. Yeah, so we are that group. So every time we'd get gigs and let's say I'm available for a gig, I'm not available for the other, we share gigs among each other. That group has been in existence since 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been together since 2014 and it's still going.
That's amazing. Because that's the one thing I was going to ask Uncle Mark when he was on the podcast, but I forgot that question. So I was like, when Emeka comes on, he'll be able to answer that. But you and Uncle Mark have one of the funniest stories ever. And I think 3 days ago, you shared it on the story that I've ever had. Tell us about that wedding where you were not paid. And as you go to that picture with Uncle Mark.
This is the way. Oh my God. This is the wedding. Oh my goodness. Oh my. Uncle Mark is going to kill me. So this is what happens. This was the year 20. I think this is 28. This is 2018. Yeah, this is 2018. And I know this is Gloria Gardens. This is Gloria Gardens in Namugongo. So they book us for this wedding. You know, by that time we're still being paid like 500K, 800. When they would give you $1 million, my guy, that would be money.
What you could
be. So I remember on this wedding, we were paid 1 million. 500. Now, we come for the wedding. We do the wedding very well. And guess what? Now we are demanding our balance. Now, the guy who had gotten us the gig, we knew him. Mark knew him more. and our other friends knew him more. So he wanted to channel that money to his own staff. So Mark kankobulire Uncle Mark akusente ye akuta. At least me am civil. Me am a bit civil. Na ye Uncle Mark kusente ye mvao. Right now, nange kusente yange tuvao. But that time, so this wedding, we do the wedding and we're demanding, I think, we're demanding 400,000 as opposed to take 200, Mark 200. So the guy tells us that, we don't have the balance, but we are going to give it to you after 1 week. Mark is like, 1 week? He's like, it's okay. We confiscated the microphones. So we get the microphones. We are like, we are going with the microphones and we are going with the amplifier. The guy is like, no, guys, don't act like that. You act like gentlemen. We're like, gentlemen, guy, you don't want to pay us our money. So what I did, I told the guy, no, it's okay. Let me talk to Mark, let him cool down. I'm like, hey, first help me with your car key. Maybe there's something I forgot. The guy was driving a Benz. I got the Benz car key. I knew how to drive. I even had a permit. I got the Benz car key. Mark tells the guys, one of the guys who was driving the bridal cars, give me one of your keys. There's a way we convinced them. So we went to the chairman and we told him, boss, we are confiscating these microphones and the amplifier and we are going to drive these bridal cars with the chairman's car. Pakanga mutu wade balance wafe. The guy is like, no, you guys are joking. Mark is like, you enter that Benz, let me enter that Benz. We entered the Benz. The guy came running with our money. So apparently the groom didn't know that we were not given our balance.
Okay.
So we saw him quarreling with the chairman. And after that, the guy's like, okay, let me give you your money. The guy, instead of giving us 400, the guy gives us 350. Mark is like, ne musajjagwe. No shatora tuchenga, tuli abachega. Are you going to give us our money? So the guy's like, no, I don't have the money. You go with this. Mark gets the money. We divide it amongst ourselves and we go. Now when we went, Mark is like, kaluyo musajja mponye. Ninga toye mbadde ngenda jitwala.
And I see Uncle Mark doing that.
Yes.
So people,
shout outs to you, my guy, Uncle Mark. Hey, man, we've hustled from way back. Uncle Mark. Anyway, so yeah, that's what happened that day. And people used to take advantage of the fact that we were young. I mean, here we were young. We were really, really so young. We were so young. We would go to weddings to MC and people are like, like, you're young. Why are you emceeing weddings? I got my first wedding gig. Shout out to you, Ronnie Markvex. Ronnie Markvex got me my first wedding gig when I was in my first year at campus. Very small. And it was in Barara. It was a high-end wedding that had UN officials, people from USAID, and I nailed it. But people were like, but you're so young. How can you do this? So yeah, this day I'll never forget it. Oh my goodness.
When you look at that moment now, today, do you laugh or feel embarrassed?
I laugh about it. I laugh about it because those are moments that really shaped us. They gave us more professionalism. They taught us how to work well with people and how to really deal with clients. Yeah.
Actually, that appreciates you mentioned about the high-end gigs you've done. I recently saw the picture where you did the wedding and had the Omukama
of Toro. Oh yes. It was a royal wedding. Amazing. It was a royal wedding. Shockingly, when I tell people that Omukama and I are childhood friends, people start saying I'm joking. But yeah, when we were kids, I grew up in Muyenga. Shout out to all my friends we grew up with in Muyenga. I'm actually looking. Let me mention it on this podcast. I'm looking for the following people. I remember them very well. We studied together at Biotech International School in Muyenga. There was a gentleman called Otude Matthew. There was a gentleman called Senyonga Martin. There was a guy called Dhruv Patel. He was Indian. There was a chick called Marietta. Marietta gave me my first hug when I was in P1 and I cried. Then there was a guy called David Papel. He was Belgian. We studied with those guys and so we grew up in Muyenga. So every time we were going to the field to play, we would pass by the palace. And even in Buziga, I think we would pass by and they would show us Oyo. At times we would go say hi to him. At times we would stay at the gate. We'd just wave at him. He waves back at us. So we were childhood friends, really. So the king from childhood, it was a long distance relationship because he was a royal. Yeah, but we set eyes on each other. We talked, we would say hi when we were kids. So when I say he's my childhood friend, it was a really cool moment emceeing the wedding in front of the Queen Mother. We've had these stories of the Queen Mother, beautiful stories, the king, his brothers, amongst royals. Yeah, it's the Lord has brought us from far, really.
It is. And I wanted to mention that because to cover your MC journey, like from your 200K to doing this. And there's even many more that we've not even talked about, but that's the journey.
There's a time I did a wedding and I was paid in dollars.
Wow.
They were fake dollars.
The fake...
But later on... Anyway, Baba never dollars. But anyway, yeah. I've emceed weddings internationally. I've done weddings outside Uganda. Shout outs to you, my sister, my very good friend, Fatuma Asha. She flew me out of Uganda to MC her wedding in Diani. And it was a really beautiful experience. Yeah.
You even photobombed a picture. I was thinking it was when you were in Dubai, there was some people getting married and then you took a selfie.
Oh yes, yeah, those were South Koreans. Those were South Koreans. They were South Korea. No, they were North Koreans. They were North Koreans.
Yeah,
so
Asians,
so they were North Koreans from Kim Jong-un's country. Anyway, so we're at the beach with my brother King Wesley, and we are there in Dubai chilling. So we photobomb. They're like, you are from Africa. You're like, Uganda, come take a picture. We don't see black people. Want to take a black people in our wedding picture. So we took pictures. Then we're like, from which country are you? They're like, we country come from North Korea. I'm like, our country no do wedding. No. Kim Jong-un no do wedding. No. We come Dubai, do wedding, we go back. I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. So really, really fun moments.
Every time I host, I know you call yourself a former comedian, but you still got that in you. But every time I host somebody who is a comedian, I end up just laughing because you guys have the best stories and just like, it is amazing. So I really appreciate that. But I know you've already talked about your journey into radio, but I had a picture in here. I think this was FMJ Radio.
Wow.
And you
this
really
was
talked about
FMJ. Wow.
What do you remember about that? I know you talked about the salary.
One thing I remember, I had hosted Levixon on this day. It's actually the day he told me those words. And I had to take this picture. When Levixon told me, man, your KFM material, I had to take this picture and put some motivational quotes on Facebook with this picture. And I was like, one day, one time, we will be up there. Yeah, that's what I remember about this day. Yeah, it was a really nice day. It was a really, really beautiful day.
You starting your radio journey, and in your journey, I don't know which one came first or whatever. We're just going to talk about everything the way it's opened up. But while you're doing comedy and while you visited a radio station too, and this was Galaxy, I think you went there to talk about some comedy that was coming. And after a few years, you go back to radio and you're working there. Talk to us about that story, because I think that was the caption of that the journey, because you were on that radio and then you became working.
So now the first picture where I looked so malnourished. Honestly speaking, so I was the comedy club we had at La Bonita, Comedy Files. They had told me to go to Galaxy and talk about the Wednesday show at La Bonita. And I remember it was DJ Nimrod who hosted me. DJ Nimrod gave me 3 minutes. No, he's like, in 1 minute, talk about the show of Gende. So I was like, I sat, talked about the show. Then after the show, I had to they took a picture of me on the microphone just to show people, guys, I've been live on Galaxy FM. It was really a big thing. And I remember walking out of that gate and I was like, God, one day, one time, maybe I will work on this radio. I do not know. But God, let your will be done. I walked out and boom. here we were in this. I remember this was the year 2021 because I remember I worked on Galaxy for 7 months. Then KFM took me.
Okay.
Yeah, I only worked at Galaxy for 7 months. But I looked back and I was like, this was a beautiful journey because now when I was called by the management to come and be the main host of the Morning Saga show, their morning show, bro, I looked back. I even shed a tear. I was like, but God, aren't you faithful? God, you're really faithful because, I mean, just a few years back, this was the year 2016. I was here. I was just given 1 minute to talk about our comedy show, and here I am as the main presenter for the morning show. God is good. God is faithful. Yes,
and that's why not to turn down radio, but like that's why I love podcasts a lot because we sit here and we just like I want to cover your journey, like give you all the time you need, express yourself. Like that's something that I really miss. Like I know radio can't do that because of like commercials and whatever they have to achieve.
But for a podcast, you have all the time. You have all the time. Yeah.
And I'm glad you picked. And that's why I asked you radio or podcast. So my this or that is kind of like for your like for the journey of your story. But anyway, you worked there 7 months and later on you transferred to KFM. You made an announcement. That brings us to the next picture.
Oh my goodness. This was one, you know, like a dream come true, something you've always dreamt about. Trust me, working for KFM was a dream come true because I worked on Galaxy, I think for 8 months. 8 months, I remember. Yeah, so I remember. So, I had my time there. There were good times there. But I remember this one time I am from work and Peterson had left KFM. He had joined Next Media. He had joined Next Radio. So I was like, oh, who is KFM bringing? Because I remember very well some friends of mine, we were there seated and they're like, we wonder who KFM is going to bring to co-host the K-Drive with Becky. I was like, well, I also wonder. Guess what? I received a message on X. I see Joseph Beyanga. The moment I saw Mr. Joseph Beyanga's message, I knew for some reason that I am going away. I knew that for some reason KFM had come for me because it's like, I remember his message very well. It said, hey, young man, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm okay, sir. How are you doing? I knew. So he's like, I don't normally, I'm not so good with inboxes, but you can give me your number and we talk. I would want you to do something for KFM. I knelt down that day. I said, thank you, Jesus. So I gave him my number. He called me. He's like, is it possible for you to come and do something for us? I was like, what exactly do you want? In my heart, I was like, I am ready. Just tell me. And yeah. So we didn't talk for 2 weeks. I think he traveled out. He was he out of the country? There's that walk he did. There's a walk he did to Bushenyi. So when he came back from that Bushenyi walk, so now he calls me. When he calls me, I'd just come back from Dubai. And he called me, we met up, we talked. He asked me about my dreams and ambitions and I told him. And he's like, okay, I guess you're hired. I'm like, wow. What? Just like that? He's like, yeah, just like that. I've been seeing you for quite a while. And you're a good boy. You're a good guy. And I will help some of your dreams come true. I will help push you because one thing with KFM, we are NMG. When he said we are NMG, I'm like, I've always loved NTV because now just to take you back a little bit, I've been part of NTV's journey. NTV is celebrating 20 years and I'm part of NTV's journey. Wow. We had a show called Brain Busters. To the millennials, and the Gen Zs who still remember this. We had a quiz show called Brain Busters hosted by a gentleman called Peter Katonene. So it was a quiz for schools and I remember very well my school took part and we won. And during the time when we won, I won the hearts of the producers and presenters and some guys. And I'm going to mention some names. Solea Munyana was the producer. Solea Munyana, I miss you so much. She always gave me that feel of Emeka. Collins. She's like, Collins, you'll be on TV one day. She said, Collins, you'll be a big deal. So Solea Munyana, wherever you are, I just want you to reach out to me. I want to take you for coffee, lunch, or breakfast on my bill. We shall go to Serena wherever you want. Because the young boy in Form 2 in 2009, you told would be a big deal in media. Here I am, man. Here I am at NMG, on KFM, on NTV. I'll never forget Soleya Munyana. And I'll never forget Alan Atulinda. He was our camera person by then. So I loved, like, NTV, NMG has always been at my heart. Like, it's been in my heart. Like, even when if I woke up one day and went somewhere else to work, trust me, NMG will always be in my blood, because I grew up with a TV, I grew up with a paper, I've always been in the newspapers. So, and now I'm working on KFM. You know, like being part of a family and you're so proud.
Yeah.
So that is how proud I am. So we call him Mr. B, Mr. Beanga. Just like that, he gives me a job.
That's amazing.
When I saw that I'm working with Becky, Becky hates it when I say this, but I'll say this. You're my big sister. You'll not mind. I listened to Becky from when she was at Power FM, and I was like, wow, she's very good. She's very talented. So when she joined KFM, I was like, now, that was a really good move for her. Now, pairing me with her, bro, we had a beautiful combination. Very nice combination. Yeah, so this.
Now you work with who? What's
I work with Yada.
Yada. Remember Yada?
The girl them chilly. The
I
girl them
remember Yada
pili.
I remember her audition journey to a show.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Yada. Yada is. You know all the presenters. We've not talked about my journey with Tumusime on Hot 100. My goodness, we had a combination on Hot. I've worked on Hot 100 before, and us joining Hot 100 in the first 3 months, the listeners bashed us and they wanted us out of the radio. But when we structured, we were two comedians, we structured our show very well that now after 3 months, man, the audience always demanded for us. The audience always wanted us back. The audience always were like, man, this guy. So guys up to now ask, Panange, where's Tumsime? We need you guys back on radio. So Hot 100, then now KFM. Now, all the people I've worked with have ended up being family to me. When I was at Galaxy, Ray P became a sister. Tumsime is a brother because we had been on stages together. Now, Becky is now like a big sister to me, always checking up on me. Now, Yada became a little sister. And it's shout outs to you, Yada girl.
Shout out to Yada and all the people you've worked with. Sharing your story, you've talked about like working on NTV and working on TV and your experiences on TV, which has been amazing. And I'm sure it has helped you a lot with your own show, The Tie the Knot, which started as a joke. I know it was your YouTube channel for your comedy work. And today people call it ministry. I read the comments, I read people's feedback from episodes you've done. Like, it's speaking to a lot of people. Like, sometimes you share what people have messaged you or commented, and it's a good feeling, like when you're creating something for impact and you see how your show is impacting those people. Tell me how you bring it to Tie the Knot and where you got the idea to start doing that, and how you mentioned Kasuku was a big help on that. How is he coming in part of the story?
So this is now how Tie the Knot comes into the picture. I remember after my contract with Pearl Magic Prime ended, was supposed to have season 2 of Take Me Back of the show I was hosting on Pearl Magic Prime. And since the fact that it was a reality TV show, it was new, they were like, okay, we are going to renew, but they didn't renew. Up to now, we're still waiting. But now, my producers, my bosses by then, who became my family now, Judithiana and Joel Ndugwa, shout outs to you guys, they told me, Emeka, we are also seated. By then, they had started doing Kampala Cream. They were like, you can always come on set, learn, see where you can fit in production, or you can also start up your own podcast or your own YouTube. I mean, guys are doing podcasts. You can think about that. I was like, okay. Now, I always had this dream. You know, I watch Jimmy Fallon a lot. I love Jimmy Fallon. I love the Late Show, James Corden, those live TV shows, Saturday Night Live. Oh my goodness. Very good shows. And I wanted to do something like that. And I had written it down. I had the idea. And I first kept quiet. I first shelved it a bit. So one time I'm at a wedding, my brother Pages of Abeka Band, we were at his wedding, and I met MC Bate. He was emceeing the wedding. So when we were in like a break, I think the wedding had ended. So MC Bate and we're with another gospel artist called Holikina Moti. We are there and they're like, Money Maker, hey, you're good on radio, MCing, what, and all these other things you're doing, but you're not going to be on radio for long. You're not going to MC for long. I mean, kids are going to come with new energy and you have to be having something sustainable. So MC Bate tells me that he MCs, he plans weddings. And I'm like, oh, cool. So it's like, that has given me a lot of money too. So you can also get into the space of planning. I can help you with contacts. I can guide you on a few things. And I'm like, well, I tried it and I saw that it was not my strength. Because like I told you, I've always loved media. I've always wanted to be on TV. So I went back home for like a week. I scratched my head and I was like, okay, now YouTube. Yes, YouTube. Podcast. So I was like, what am I going to do? So I brought back my idea of like the Jimmy Fallon ideas. So I ran it through Kasuku. We were at work. By then he was still at KFM. He's like, Emeka, this thing it's a very beautiful idea. He's like, by the way, it's a very nice idea that is going to bring a lot of traction. But he said, I don't think you have all that money for production because you will waste money on one episode and getting these celebrities is not going to be very easy. So he said, you're a wedding MC. I'm like, yes. Do this. I'm like, okay. The couples you MC for, you host them and ask them for their stories. Go to their weddings, capture their weddings, talk about the things that were at the wedding, what was good, what was not good, host the couples, host service providers. I'm like, wait a minute. He's like, yeah, do that. Mm-hmm. He's like, and then he said in Uganda, but na Uganda bagala nye bibozi bya love, ebyo bibozi no bitunda. That's Kasuko. So Kasuko is like, like ne ojatula abantu bakunyumiza ekibozi kinyume kitrending and your channel will grow. So he told me, do not look at the money for the start, do not look at the numbers. He said, just be consistent. He's like, with time, he told me that show will, if you start it, it's going to grow beyond you. And bro, it has grown beyond me. So
it has. I
went back, sat with Becky Nantale in her office. I'm like, now Becky, this is what I want to do. She's like, oh, it's a beautiful idea. You're bringing out the positive side of marriage. So I went, prayed about it. I asked God, I want to do this. I remember that time when I was praying, God told me a thing. He's like, God gave me a go ahead. Mm-hmm. But I remember one time when I was praying, I felt that strong thing of, you're going to start, I had a voice tell me, you're going to start ministry, but ministry will come at a cost, but that cost will later on be good. It will turn out to be something good.
Yeah.
So I started, I didn't mind it. I mean, you're talking about the positive side of marriage, beautiful marriages and all that stuff. The devil hates marriages. The devil is fighting marriages. I'm like, so we are coming to fight the enemy. Come to fight the enemy, you're well prepared. You well know that you're going to lose some things.
Yeah.
Like I said, the voice told me it's going to come at a cost, but if you're doing it for God, God will strengthen you. So we get a name. I'm like, Becky, let's get a name. The wedding proposal, no. The wedding thing, no. So Becky's like, what's the other word for weddings? What's the other word they use for marriage? I'm like, people tying the knot. She's like, yeah, we've gotten a name. Tie the knot. Yeah, so I start tie the knot. Then I got a friend of mine. He was getting married. I asked him, can I host you and your fiancé? You talk about your story and journey. He's like, hey, cool. The wife accepted. We sat, hosted them. So I put out the first episode. So when I put out the first episode, guys, so they're like, hey, it's nice. This is nice. Don't they steal my new phone? I had a 14 Pro Max by then. It was new.
Oh, wow.
They snatched it. Then the person who stole my phone tried accessing my funds, my bank account, my unit trust account, all my other accounts, my mobile money. There was money. And the good thing is I called all the people who were handling those. I told them, please block all my accounts. And they blocked them. No money was accessed. They tried messing with my Gmail to take my channel away. It failed.
Wow.
Then my pastor told me the battle has begun. He said, expect a bigger battle. He told me, expect a bigger battle. So I bought a new phone, bought a 15 Pro Max. Then we shot the second episode, third episode, fourth. Now, on the third episode, That's when the channel blew. And I remember I got monetized after 3 episodes. And money started coming in. After 3 episodes. Because I remember it was Uncle Mo who was giving me the guidance. Because I monetized my channel on my own with the help and guidance of Uncle Mo. So he told me what to do. He told me what to do, just the simple basics. And I got monetized. And from that time, Bonnie, I think from like the 6th, 7th episode, I realized that this was not just a show I was doing as a side gig, as a side hustle. My pastor, shout outs to you, Pastor Andrew Chimuli, he told me, my son, you have entered a territory that is going to require spiritual warfare, that is going to require people to actually pray for you. You're going to require people to stand with you in prayer, because the territory you have come into, you are fighting the enemy. And I'll tell you this, Bonnie, I hosted people. People started getting healing. The comments I would see from the next episodes, man, people would be like, man, I thought I was going through the worst. Now I'm compelled to now work on my marriage, blah, blah, blah. Like, people started getting healing, but boom, Bonnie. Bro, 2025, when the show was growing, the enemy attacked, and I'll stop at that. That is a story that I'm going to tell in 2 years from now, and I'm writing a book about it. Just know the enemy attacked, and I did not stop my ministry. The enemy gave me a hit. But guess what? The people God gives the biggest battles are the people he equips with strength. I pulled out my sword. I pulled out the word of God, and I was like, God, I am not going to stop. No matter what is happening, no matter how much the enemy has tried to put me down, God, you are for me. And boom, up to now, Tie the Knot is growing. So that's how Tie the Knot came to be. But I'll tell you, Bonnie, I have fought spiritual battles for this show. About his show. I have fought battles, and I'm still fighting spiritual battles. But the good thing is I got to learn more about spirituality last year. I went into fasting. I had encounters with God, one-on-one encounters with God. I'm talking about dreaming about things. I'm talking about a voice speaking to you. I'm talking about seeing a white light in my room and God speaking to me, Bonnie. This is what Tie the Knot has brought me to.
I love your show. And this is one thing that it takes away nothing. Even if when both of us are doing podcasts, like I lose nothing to say I love Emeka's show.
Thank you. I also love this show. I love this show.
There's things you touch on that I don't, that I'm like, it's only I'm going to get it from your show. Like there's something I'm going to learn from your show.
Yeah.
Change my ways from your show. Like things like the way you ask your questions, the way you bring people and talk about their lives. So, and even reading just the comments, sometimes you go there to see what other people are going through, and that can help you. And on that note, I know I had some pictures next, but we're going to skip those pictures because of time. I want you to go to the picture of baptism. What year was that? And because you're talking about spirituality and how God has been faithful to you, and this picture came up. Why did you choose that decision?
So this was last year, 2025, and this was at the height of the spiritual battles I was going through. Bonnie, like I said, to all the viewers and to my viewers, to everyone, in 2-3 years, I will tell the story, but I'll just give you part of the story that led to this. It was at the height of the spiritual battles I was fighting, my guy. It was too much. And I say to myself, you know what? I've been born again, but I think I was kind of, I was not lukewarm, but I had not gone deeper into the word. I had not gone deeper into my faith. I had not gone deeper into spirituality, because I would see people praying in tongues and I'm like, guys, muli kuchi. I would see people talking of deliverance and I'm like, really? Till I had to face it. So I said, you know what, let me get baptized. Now, when I was getting baptized, my pastor told me, the enemy is going to attack more. But remember, God is with you, and if God is for you, who can be against you? That's when I learned to pray with Bible verses. That is when, bro, last year, This was at the height of the battles I was facing. But I said, let me run back to God because God is with me. He's for me. And even Jesus faced all these battles. And I remember very well, I got to a point last year and I told God, I am broken. Let me tell you, I would come do the podcast. I would do tie the knot, but bro, I was broken inside. I was going through the worst. And I remember going to God and I'm like, God, I am going through this. I don't think I can do this podcast anymore. I almost gave up. I almost gave up on Tie the Knot last year. I almost gave up because, bro, the hit I received was actually part of the show. It was the heart of the show. And I told God, I don't think I can move on with this. But I remember Bonnie sleeping that night and I dreamt. And in the dream, I was hosting the president and his wife, the first lady. And I remember after that episode, after hosting them, a voice came and told me that, Collins, I'm going to use your brokenness to heal other people. Yeah. I remember that voice very well. I remember that voice very well because I remember it was a Tuesday. I had prayed because I would pray midnight to 2 a.m. and my dreams would normally come between 3 and 5 a.m. And that voice told me, I am going to use your brokenness. Because I remember very well in that dream, I had hosted the president and his wife and they were sharing their story. And the voice told me, I am using your brokenness to bring healing to people. So do not give up. And guess what? My guy. So I remember very well, the voice told me, I want you to look at the people in the Bible, the people I have used who are broken. Look at Ruth. Ruth was a widow. But guess what? At the end of the day, being a widow did not stop her from getting to her destiny. It did not stop her from meeting Boaz. And he redeemed her life. Look at Moses. Moses was a murderer. Look at King David. Whatever he did. You know, King David was the first person on earth to watch pornography in 3D. So you get like... So God used God used a porn addict. Anyway,
oh my gosh, that's funny.
So the voice told me, look at King David, from having an affair with Bathsheba, from killing Uriah, to him being in the lineage of Jesus Christ. Ruth became the great grandmother of King David, still in the lineage of Jesus. Showed me, look at Job. Job did not denounce me. Job did not stop. And this is the voice telling me this in the dream. Because I remember I was seated somewhere and this voice was telling me all that. And I was just seeing a white light and gave me more examples. Man. He told me, I am going to... That's when I started reading the Bible more. I read the Bible more and I learned that the people who were broken, the people God used most were the people who were broken. And I remember the voice told me, Collins, I am going to use your brokenness to bring healing. Let me tell you, Bonnie, I got up and I was like, I am going to continue with this show. Every time I see these positive comments, I meet people, big people in government. I meet big people and they tell me, your show has done something for me. I remember someone telling me that I watched an episode. There's an episode they watched. I've forgotten the couple they told me, but we watched this couple and it brought healing into our marriage. These were people who were married, by the way, for 15 years. 15 years. And they had a big disagreement for a very long time. But they watched this couple that went through the same thing. And they were like, do you know what? We watched this couple. They reached out to the couple and the couple helped them. And they are now very happy. I remember there's a lady who almost committed suicide. I hosted a gentleman who was addicted to alcohol. And that gentleman got her a destiny helper through Tie the Knot. Bonnie, I remember there's a couple that came to me. They were on the verge of divorce because of finances. Pumla, shout outs to you. Pumla nkwagala nnyo.
Shout out to
Thank you,
Pumla.
Pumla, shout outs to you, man.
Yeah.
Pumla,
Shout out to Pumla.
Pumla, I'm going to take you out for lunch because they
Pumla blessed my podcast too, by the way. It's the
I
most
know.
watched episode of my
watched.
podcast. It's great.
Yes, let me tell you, they watched Pumla's episode. They told me, Emeka, after Pumla's episode, we're like, let's give it another try. All the principles she outlined in that episode I hosted her, Bonnie, they applied them. They are doing so well. When I look at them right now, acting as new lovers, and I'm like, bro, you get. So God told me, you are on a divine mission. So Tie the Knot is a divine mission. I see people bashing, because even my pastor told me, Pastor Andrew Chimuli told me, expect bashing from the public. But who has done a good thing and they are not being talked about? Everyone is being talked about. I see guys on Twitter saying, Emeka bringing us another delusional couple. But let me tell you, Bonnie, we are living in a world, we are living in a country, we are living in an era where people do not want other people to make mistakes. They do not want them to make errors that they made. So the best way people get healing is through sharing their story. I hosted Eliezer who was sodomized by his brother. Bonnie, I got messages in my inbox. Oh my goodness.
I saw that online.
Oh my God. I got messages of people who were like, Emeka, I went through the same. You do not know how much Eliezer's episode has brought healing to me. I got to a point and my pastors were like, now, we are including you in our daily prayers because our pastors meet, I think, weekly and daily. And trust me, they include me in their prayers because I'm on a divine assignment. Tie the Knot is not just because people are like, Emeka bringing us another delusional couple. It is working for him. He's making money. No, it's not about the money. It is about seeing a society with beautiful marriages. No matter how much you will be crushed in a certain area, but God will use you. That's why I'll tell you, I read the Bible a lot. God has used broken people to reach out to the others. So yes, that's Tie the Knot. Hence the baptism.
I love you sharing about that because a lot of people, we just watch this content on YouTube, but you don't know what it means to a person, or you don't know what that person is sacrificing, going through for you to see what you see on the screen. And I really appreciate you for that and sharing that. And it has given me, I've been respecting you, but it adds on like an extra respect for you to see you do what you're doing and through whatever you do to get that show. Anyway, this brings me to our full circle moment. And this has been an amazing show. Our next picture, life is amazing because MC Katz hosted you on After 5. I don't know what year that was. And it has been your latest episode.
So, oh, wow. Oh, by the way, I don't know. I had forgotten about this. So I remember we were in Bokoto. There's a bar, I've forgotten the name of the bar. We were having a comedy night there. And so the owner of the bar, the guys who were doing the show, they chose me as one of the headline acts to go and talk about the show. So MC Katz hosted me on After 5. So I sat with him. We had a brief conversation of 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. I was on After 5. We talked about it. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Very professional, very, very professional. And after this show, I was like, oh, wow, I've been hosted by a guy I used to watch when I was young.
He hated that on the podcast with you. He was like, it was banter.
Yeah, so I did this not knowing that one time, I would actually now sit and it would be me hosting him telling his story and him narrating his journey on how his journey with HIV, and trust me, it was a beautiful conversation. I feel the world has been so harsh on Katz, but the day I sat with Katz, I realized there's something special about Katz. There's something special about him. There's something special. It just takes one to understand him. It takes a person to sit down with him and really get to know him. Nobody's perfect. Everyone has made their mistakes, but after having a one-on-one with MC Katz, that's the time I learned that, okay, yes, there's something special about this gentleman, and the world has judged him so harshly, but he's a great guy. And the fact that he said, I'm going to talk about this stuff, inspire people, and not let people make these mistakes. People ask me a lot, by the way, when I host individuals talking about these other stories, they're like, now, is this still Tie the Knot? Guys, Tie the Knot, yes, it's a marriage show, but it's a family show. Now, let me tell you, in marriage, there's family. In family, there's children. There's parenting. People need to get to know all these things. Like, we need to get into the depths of every story. There are episodes I am bringing, Bonnie, that I don't think people are ready for. Because people say I rage bait them a lot. There are episodes that I am bringing that are going to bring, to show you a different perspective of Tie the Knot. Tie the Knot is not just about marriage. It's family. MC Kat's episode is about family, is about children, is about people getting to know that, hey, HIV is real.
To just add on to what you just said about people who say, is it still Tie the Knot? I'll just take you back to Pumla's episode. Yes, Pumla was a financial, but he helped a marriage to fix their problem.
Yes.
And then MC Katz, I remember MC Katz's conversation is like, even for the married people, like he was giving reference and examples to them for that. So for me, I just appreciate, and there's a reason why people do their things. Even if it's Tie the Knot and you choose to bring MC Katz, there's a reason why you're making that. And there's a way it aligns with your goal and whatever you're trying to do. So I really enjoyed that episode. I really love how you bring these conversations. It inspires me, and there's things to learn, pick from you and learn from you. I know we've been here for a long time. I might skip some of the pictures, but let's finish the pictures.
This last one, this last one. My goodness. Oh my goodness. This was one of the best days in my life. This was during Echisakate. You know Echisakate?
Yeah, I know Echisakate batwala y'abalenzi. I thought it was only girls.
No. It's both boys and girls. It's both boys and girls. So I remember very well during this. I won a singing competition. By the way, me I used to be in choir. I was singing. Which song should I sing?
I saw a video when I was looking through. There was a video where you remember kukuba live band.
Like
I didn't know the lyrics very well.
Tukubagwe. So which song should I sing? Let me see. Let me just. There's just something about the name. But yes. But anyway, so I won a singing competition at school in Form 1. We're going into Form 2, and I won 200,000 shillings. 2008 by then. Then also I was given a full scholarship to go for Echisakate. And when I went to Echisakate, that's where I met a very good friend of mine. He's now a brother. He's called Jeffrey Kadu. He's getting married very soon. He's one of the young good lawyers we have in this country. And I met another lady. Linda Nabwami. Linda Nabwami, wherever you are. Nabwami Linda. They're bagenda to circle this message. They were my good friends in Sakate. So I remember this day. On day one, when I arrived at Sakate, people had to know that there is a short boy called Collins Bareija. That's how stubborn and lethal I was. Like, I made sure that people get to know me. And I remember very well that day I went and mimed Pastor Bugembe's song. Rengere mbata. Rengere. No, it was and I also mimed Katikoma Weka. So guys started calling me Pastor.
Yeah.
So guys nicknamed me Pastor. And so this one time, they tell us that now the Nabagereka is coming. The Queen of Buganda is coming. So we were swimming. This is the day I learned how to swim. Because now the story was, she's coming with a princess. Now I didn't know how to swim. I wanted to, because they were like, you're going to show the queen your swimming skills. Even the princess is going to be there. But they said the princess is coming with two of her friends. I have the same photo with the princess of Uganda. Her Royal Highness, Sangali Ambogo. So I'm like, okay, let me act as a cool kid, Boni nagwa mu mazzi na miralita 2 ez'amazzi. Then they took me out of the swimming pool. Then they told me, nabagere katayagala bantu batamanyi kuwuga. So I was like, no. Yeah. So a friend just gave me the basics. He's like, do this, hold your legs up like this, then move like this. So I jumped back into the water. Within a few minutes, I had learned. That's how I learned how to swim. You get? I didn't get a swimming coach. That's how I learned how to swim. So the queen comes. When the queen came, they started picking the sharpest kids in the Chisakati. Guess what? I was among the sharpest. They called me out. I had a one-on-one with the queen, and she asked me, what do you want to become? I told her I want to become a journalist. She's like, oh, that's good. So we had a conversation for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. That's why when her book was released some years back, I had to buy it and read her story. So I just fell in love with her. I just loved it made me fall in love with Uganda the more because I was born and raised in Uganda. My whole life has been in Uganda. And just having that chat with the Queen of Uganda was everything to me. So after that, I had a chat with the princess. We even took a picture. So we took these pictures. There is a time these pictures got lost from my album. Nalinzi so muntu. And I'm going to frame them. So these are just beautiful moments. I don't think the queen can remember, but one day, one time, I want to meet her and have another chat with her and tell her that, hey, queen, you motivated, you inspired this young boy. See where he is right now. See where he is. I mean, these are all dreams I'm living. So, yeah.
It's amazing. I'm glad I didn't skip over that picture. I'm glad I gave you the time to talk about it. It means a lot. And actually, I'm going to just go through and finish the pictures because the last one, was this you talked about your first flight. Was this your first flight?
This was my first flight after nailing Chigali in my first year at campus, man. After nailing Chigali, I had to take a picture and show guys anyway, we had been on aeroplanes, but the fact that I was getting onto an aeroplane because of my career, because of my dream, and it gave me a lot of fulfillment. Previous times I was on planes, but the fact that I had left a mark in Rwanda, TVs in Rwanda, blogs, newspapers, they were all talking about Emeka, the Romantic Mukiga. And I remember the headline in the New Times, the biggest blog in Rwanda, I think it's also like the best newspaper there. They said Uganda's youngest comedian Emeka leaves Rwandese asking for more.
Wow.
That was the headline. And I loved it.
And speaking of that, now I had skipped one picture, but now I've realized the purpose of the picture. Let's go back to Apas's picture.
Oh, Apas. Oh, yes. Apas.
It's an amazing guy. That's another guy that has blessed me in my life, and he's a great guy.
So Apas, shockingly, Apas and I are boys. We are really good friends. That I'll just wake up on any given day. I'm like, Apas, Jolie Wakanzi, Jay, we go play, we play FIFA. He will hammer me 12 goals to nil, and I'm like, it's okay. So
so on
this particular day, this is the day I actually became friends with Apas. We were at a car wash, and I think it was a car wash that was organized by Alice Barlow. She was Miss IUEA by then. So Alice Barlow called us for this car wash. Then was it Alice Barlow? I think yes, it was. It was Alice Barlow. So I met with Apas and we talked that day. I told him, hey, I work on radio. I do this. He's like, cool, blah blah. He's a very humble man, and we've gotten to meet in life. We've become really good friends. He has done mob favors for me, and he's a great guy, very great friend.
There was another picture I didn't put in there, but it was still was Apas. It was on your Instagram. You were at an event, I think, and he was talking to you, and I think your caption was saying Apas explaining something. He was like really talking. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was a funny comment. I was like, that's really Apas. Like it was an event, and he was telling. I don't remember the caption exactly, and I didn't get the picture.
If I saw the if I saw the picture, I would remember the event.
You're talking about that, but I've also been blessed with him. I remember when I was in Uganda, I just hit him up at 7 a.m. in the morning. Epas Jolie Waka, that man is always up. He's like and we just sat in his studio. And
people need to know about APAS is this. That guy is always in studio creating. He's
Yeah.
always in studio creating. He produces his music. He makes the beats, then other producers come and add in other things. But you go into his house, the first thing he'll take you to is his studio.
that's where he took me, and the conversation was in there. Yeah.
Yes, and every time you visit him, he'll sit down and he's a professional sound engineer.
Yeah.
So he will be giving you basics about sound. He will be listening to other artists, knowing what is wrong with this. Like, very, very good guy. Very, very good guy.
I think those are all my picture. I don't think I missed any picture. I really love looking through pictures. It's like when we used to have an album in the house from
I know. No.
I love that conversation.
That was entertainment. Now these days, visitors come and they have to watch Netflix. They're on their phones. Our Netflix used to be photo albums.
As we wrap up, if God was to remove every title, radio host, MC, actor, podcast host, who is Collins?
God was to remove all those titles. Who's Collins? Collins Bareija is a God-fearing man. He's father to a beautiful daughter called Nkunda Bareija Magyezi. I'm a loving person.
Yeah.
I'm a person who loves the Lord. I love the word of God. I love people. I'm a person who loves peace. Collins Bareija is a person who wants to see other people okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a person who wants to see people doing well. I'm this kind of person who loves and gives in my all to everything. Hence the name, the Romantic Mukiga.
Romantic
That
Mukiga.
is me. That is me. That's me.
And I want to add on to that. I know I didn't say this, but all the time when we've been friends, I know we don't talk all the time, but I've had your number since 2014. I've followed you on all your platforms, and the support, like I don't know if we talked about it, but like when I was nominated for the first Pulse Awards, I know you had a big following on your Twitter, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna share for my guy, and then you shared it there, and like the support here and there that you've given. Like, I hate when people put in competition. There's no way I'm gonna start competing with you because I'm like, he's my guy, he's my friend. Like, I hate that, and I've never sensed that from you. You like my work, you share my work, you always on Instagram, hey, I've posted this, you like that, and I love that, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's one thing. I'm a person who will support my own people. I will support. There's something last year. People said that Emeka was there. Emeka supported. Emeka supported. And I'm this person, if you're in my corner, I will make sure I show up for you. I will show up for you. I will definitely show up for you. Now, like you, we are in like the same field. We're in the same field. Every now and then, I'm on your channel checking out the episodes you're having. I'm checking to see how far you've come now with your followers, with your subscribers, how many subscribers you're at. And I'm like, my guy is doing great. My guy is really, really doing great. Really, really doing great. Because I'll tell you this. I've hosted people. People normally ask me this question. Hey, there are people you host. Where do you get those couples from?
I know. They ask me too.
I'll tell you, man. Name that question. I'll say this, Bonnie. There are even people I respect in this podcast space that will come and say, that person you hosted, they are lying. And I'm like, excuse me, do you know what they went through? When I hosted that boy Eliezer, the boy who was molested, man, people I respect in the podcast space came and told me, Olimba, Ababantu Obaja, where do you get such people? And I'm like, guys, how I wish you just know the divine assignment God has given me. How I wish you know people's stories, because I take my time to listen to these stories, and I first pray about everyone before coming on that show. There are people I have turned down. There are people, there are individuals who come with stories, and I pray and I'm like, God is like, it didn't sit right with me. But by the time I put you on that platform, this is ministry. It's like a pastor giving another pastor the podium of their church to preach. No pastor just gives you their podium. No pastor just gives you their stage. No one. To put you onto that stage, you must have something special. So all the people I put on the podcast, all the people I invite on the show, they have a story. they have a story to tell. And let me tell you, these stories are changing lives. People go out there and say, man, these are delusional people. How come they are sharing such information? Let me tell you, people want to share, because every time I host somebody, 3 more come out and they're like, I also have a story to share. And that is the kind of world we need to live in, a world that is a world of healing. Bonnie, people have traumas. People have traumas that they need to heal from. And the only way people are going to heal from traumas is hearing another person's story. So never come out and brush out a story. Yeah.
Still giving you your flowers. There's this thing of like, if somebody has had a guest or something, like I remember calling you at one of the guests that I saw on your show that I really wanted. You never even thought twice. Here is the number. I know, like, you have to be professional and ask that person, hey, this person is asking for your number and all that. But I reached out to those people and they were like the same thing. I was like, oh, yeah, no, that's fine. I've watched your channel. I really love it. And then they actually accepted, and it's one of the future recordings that I'm going to do. But I love that. I love when people are being supportive for each other, like, even if when you're in the same space, because God blesses people differently. Like, what God has given you, he's not going to take from you. And what has God given me? And we rise by lifting each other up.
That's it.
So I really wanted to appreciate that. Okay, I have a question. If your younger self watched this conversation, what would surprise him the most? Like, if you watched whatever we've just talked about.
What would surprise my younger self is how much healing I've had, and how much growth I have had, and how much growth I've had to have in the Word of God and in my journey of faith.
One thing I've learned from your story too is like how you put God first, and that's one thing I put with my podcast. No matter what conversation I bring, even if I've hosted somebody who is not a Christian, I know God brought those people to this platform to speak to somebody
for a reason,
and their story is gonna change somebody. So every time, and some of my comments like, God is the greatest, God is great, and every achievement that I get through this, I know it's not by my power, but it's by God, and God is blessing us to be able to do this conversation and to have the life to even to do them and the stories we talk about. So it's been a blessing for me to have you on the podcast, for you to share your journey, what you do, and get to learn from you, and for the people to listen to it, and for the people to see that, we've been cooking. Sometimes you don't know how we move, but then we just surprise you with conversation like this.
Hit you with
I love you, my brother. I'm so proud of you. And
same here, man.
I remember once in a while I'll jump in your inbox and say, hey, man, whatever, we talk here and there. So I want us to continue keeping that relationship. I know God made us meet for a reason, and you're in my life for a reason. I'm in your life for a reason. So we'll continue supporting each other, encouraging each other. We're going to wrap up with a rapid fire. Rapid fire is where I ask you one question, and you're going to tell me the first answer that comes to your head. You don't have to think about it. And for the listeners, this is not advice. This is Emeka's first thing that popped in his head. So don't take it as advice. That's a precaution for you. What is said? One word that describes. You tell me if you want to separate them or put them in the same bracket. Kasuku, Pablo, Uncle Mark, MC Cats, and yourself.
One word.
One word.
One word that describes all those people you've mentioned?
All those people.
No, start one by one.
Kasuku.
Luseke.
Kasuku, I'm still... Tuogera? Na sidika. Then nenkira na mpeza mese. Kasuku ngenda kulangera ku podcast yenu. Mwandi Kasuku ne tuogera. Boni, katumande tuogere. Njogera kumande. Omusajja naga, Boni katate siriye mungenze London.
But he's a busy guy. But he's a good guy. He's a very good guy. But one word to describe him, Luseke. Yeah. But he's a good guy.
Luseke. I can't wait to sit down with him. I know it's always God's timing. I never rush conversations, so I know it will happen one day. Pablo.
Inspirational.
Uncle Mark.
Stupid.
Uncle Mark, I can't wait. Actually, Uncle Mark. Shout out to Uncle Mark.
Shout out to you, my brother. I love you so much, my brother. MC Cats. One word to describe MC Cats. Judged harshly. Is judged
Actually,
harshly.
you remind me. I wanted to talk about that when you mentioned it, because this is what I love about podcasts. It gives you an opportunity to talk to somebody, to hear from them. We live in a country where ebigambo biyita bingi. Ate n'aba border. Aba border emboozi zaabwe zinyuma zise some of them sintuufu.
Sintuufu.
Omwana border ayinza okukonyumiza emboozi.
Mensasula kumpi netwaku. Mito. Mensasula kumpi asula kuna kumpi.
nze kankupulire omwana wa boda yanyumiza story. There's a time I was going to South Africa. So I had a night flight. Katimba ngenda. So I remember that day I was kind of late. I was almost getting late for check-in. So I do not know what happened. For some reason, the Uber I was in got issues. Then I got onto a border. And it was at 11 a.m. Check-in was supposed to start like at 11 p.m. Check-in was supposed to start like at around 11:30. So ndi muchitoro guy amvuga, the border guy who is riding, he's like, Papanze nkubulire, ogenda. I'm like, I'm going to the airport. Hey, ofuru mogenda. I'm like, ngenda ko Johannesburg. He's like, nze katika nkubulire. Olaba buno obudde. Mu Uganda ebintu bibeera muline eggwanga byotasobola kusuubira. I'm like, what? Kyatuukawo. Kati okimanyi nti Putin, president wa Russia, alina amakamuno mu Entebbe? I'm like, sebo olimba. His name was Kajoba. I'm like, Kajoba olimba. Kati nze kankubulire. Kino nkikugamba kubanga ffe tubeera mu Entebbe. Okimanyi ffe abamu ku bantu abaazimba ennyumba ya Putin eyo. Putin sebo ajja lumu na lumu naye atuuka muno ssaawa 6 gwa kiro bw'olabanga airport bagigadde yonna motoka zimukima ne zimujja ku nnyonyi n'ayingira ennyumba ye eri kumpi ne State House. Olaba oyambuka boti ku State House woti waliwo ennyumba ya kalina eri awo eyo nnyumba ya Putin. Putin alina omukazi Omunayuganda, alina abaana Abannayuganda. Tebakimanyi. Then he continued. Like ati gweva ku Putin. Olaba Kim Jong-un. Okimanyi ti Kim Jong-un yasomera muno oyo president wa North Korea yasomera muno mu Uganda yasomera kitandi. Nzate mutabani wange yali classmate. I'm like dada ababoda bayine embozi.
Ababoda bayine embozi. Wait. I actually want, my goal is to host one border guy on my podcast.
Let me tell you, we need to get border guys on a podcast. I need to start a border guys podcast because those guys will like you. The guy will look, he look at color green, he's like, you see green and you're black. Gwani yakulimba nti you're green. Nze nkugambye black. That's how border guys are. Yeah.
I love that. Even if like nozibanga sintu fene zinyuma omwana enzo kunyumiza kizimbe kya mapeera.
Now me there's another one who told me kati olaba kyanje eyo. Okimanyi nti waliwo abazungu abaagula kyanja buli nannyini kizimbe buli nannyini apartment muno mu kyanja. Ebyo si bizimbe byabwe, ebyo bizimbe by'abazungu. Ate kati nze nkugamba bagenda kuzimba ekisaawe muno mu kyanja. Premier League batagenda waliwo game ze bagenda oleta muno. Nze nkugambye weebuze lwaki kyanja ekulaakulana. Weebuze lwaki kisaasi. Lwaki kyanja esinga kisaasi. I'm like, no. I asked my border guy. He's called Frank. He's like, nze Colin kankubulire eno kyanja kati esinga muyenga. Ffe tukulidde mu kyanja. Muzeyi wange yalina amataka. Muzeyi wange yali mugagga nnyo. Then I asked him kati lwaki ovuga boda. Anti naawe obimanyi.
Katuwalize rapid fire. Katuwalize rapid fire. I'm sorry, I just crying. Dream podcast guest. I know actually you talk when you're talking about your podcast, you said a dream you had, but who is a dream podcast guest?
My dream podcast guest, and I believe I have 5 of them. Let me mention them, and I believe one day, one time, I am going to have them on this show. My dream podcast guests, I want to sit down with Bobby Wine and Bobby. Leave alone the whole politics thing. These guys have a beautiful story. Story they have to tell the world. I would also want to sit down with the president.
And his wife.
They've had stories. Like they have stories. They have a lot to tell about marriage in their generation and in our generation. I would want to sit down with His Excellency, the president, and Mama, and they tell us. I would also want to have a chat with Dr. Mama Mbabazi and Auntie Jacqueline Mbabazi. These are people that have had a good story. I'd want to sit down with Bebe Cool and Zuena. I want to sit down with them. It would be a good one, because how have they been able to sustain such a marriage amidst all the fame, money, and all that stuff? I would want to sit down with Kenzo and Honorable Nyamutoro. I want to sit down with Kenzo and Honorable Nyamutoro and just talk about the whole transition. I would want to sit down one time with actually Barack Obama and Michelle Obama.
Nice.
Barack and Michelle Obama. I would want
too.
to sit down with them and they tell us, man, a lot of things have been said about Michelle Obama, but I want to know, how to get into that depth. Bonnie, I would want to sit down with Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
I want to sit down with Donald Trump and his wife.
Yeah.
I want to sit down with Wahoo and Nameless of Kenya. Wahoo and Nameless from Kenya, those guys, they have a beautiful story that I would want Tie the Knot to like explore. I would want to sit down with His Excellency Paul Kagame and Aunt Jane Kagame. Those are my dream guests. And I know one day, one time, cut out these clips, Nameless and Wahoo. If it means coming to Kenya, to Jagenda Kenya, welcome. Mimi nakuja Kenya. You get, like, I want to sit down with all those people I've mentioned and get to know their story, their side of the story on marriage. Yeah, those are my dream guests.
Favorite wedding moment?
Favorite wedding moment? Favorite wedding moment was that wedding when I was with the King of Toro. King Oyo.
That one was good.
Yeah, and the Queen Mother.
Cool.
I would want to sit down with the Queen Mother also, by the way. Her Majesty, Her Royal Highness, Auntie Best Kemigisa, because she has a beautiful story on how she raised the king as a single mother. I would want to get that story. Yeah.
One thing people misunderstand about Collins.
People think I show off. People think I'm so much into myself, but I'll say this, man. People might not allow or accept, but I'm an introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert. I'm an introvert, man. I'm an introvert. Because when I meet people I do not know, people will think Neraga. But when I meet people I do not know, I am Bonnie, I am reserved. I am so reserved. Only that people see me, I'm talking a lot to those people who know me like Njakwasama. But I am reserved. So people misunderstand that and they think other things.
Nange no, Olawa. Nange am reserved. Rakwa ni Mwagezi wase no. Kati nange babi into
Chofola batemwa wagula Champions League. Mama. If you guys are, if PSG made a mistake and let you guys win that trophy, oh my goodness, we were going to be in trouble. We were going to be in trouble. Yes.
I'm introvert. Nek wase no. I become the extrovert. Social media.
Yeah.
Anyway. Collins, the closing message. If you're speaking to a young comedian, the struggling MC, and the aspiring radio presenter who feels unseen, what would you tell them?
I'll tell them, do not stop, do not give up. Do not give up. And the other thing will be, man, God. Put God first. Bonnie, if it's not for God, we would not be here. Bonnie, we would not be here. It's not by my power, not by my might, but by the Spirit of the living God. Put God first. Number 2, it's not over until God says it is done. People will write you off. But Torren Wells says, God's not done with you, even with your broken heart and your wounds and your scars. The other thing I'll tell you, that situation that broke you is the same situation God will use to elevate you. So amidst the pain, amidst the hurt, amidst the tears, God is building you to perfection.
Amen. I have final three. Final 3 is the signature questions I ask every guest that comes on the podcast. And they're also one-answer questions. What has been a life lesson you've learned in life to this point?
A life lesson I've learned is do not rush. Do not rush.
What gets you excited about life?
The fact that God has better plans for me. Jeremiah 29:11. 29:11. It's written in the word of God. We need to live, because the Bible says, my people perish because they lack understanding. It's all written in the Bible. God has bigger plans for everyone. God has bigger plans for everyone. And until we explore the word, trust me, we will not reach to that completion. But God has bigger plans. God has better plans. That's what keeps me moving.
Final question. Who would you like to see on this podcast next as a guest? And you will help me get that person on here.
The next person I would want to see on this podcast. Let me see who. I think I would want to. I'd want to see you host MC Cats. I'd want to see you host MC Cats.
I would love that. That would be great.
I'd want to see you host MC Cats.
I listened to that conversation. Actually, I finished it yesterday and it was amazing. And what stood out to me is something you said, like people judge you outside the world, but when you sit down with somebody one-on-one, you get a different perspective of that person. Also, the other person I would suggest is Serena Tugume. She's my good friend. Serena Tugume has been, she has vitiligo, and her story is so captivating. She every time I watched her episode on The Good Wife with Mrs. Rachel Mwine, and she said that the moments that were meant to break you are the moments God uses to elevate you. And I am going through that. I've been through that. So I would also want to see Serena Tugume here. Shout out to The Good Wife. I've also hosted her on my podcast. She's amazing. I like that really podcast too. It's good. I would like to tell you officially that this is the longest podcast I've ever recorded on my podcast.
How long is it?
We are in 2 hours and 3 minutes. Bro! 2 hours and 3 minutes.
Wow.
Collins, your story reminds us that purpose does not always arrive looking important. Sometimes it begins with unpaid gigs, sometimes jokes, and sometimes with tiny videos nobody watches. But when consistency meets purpose, lives begin to change. Thank you for reminding us that media can do more than just entertain. It can heal, it can restore, and it can inspire. Ladies and gentlemen, if this conversation challenged you, encouraged you, or made you smile, don't forget to like, subscribe, share this episode with someone you care about, and let us know your biggest takeaway in the comments. Until next time, I'm your host, Bonnie Chibuka, and this has been the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Keep growing, keep believing, keep choosing conversations that change lives. And my guest, Collins
Bareija Magyezi, Emeka the Romantic Mukiga. I'd like to send shout outs to just a few people.
Okay.
I'd like to shout out to my family, my daughter Nkunda. I love you so much. I'd like to send shout outs to my friends, my people who have walked this journey with me. Gilbert Atwine, God bless you. Habatabaho, Martin Prince Tumwine, Jonan Tuinamasiko. A lot of people that have been with me, that have walked my journey. My pastors at Encounter Church, you people are the real deal. Kashoki de Magwano. Yeah, and
I'm gonna steal that one.
Yeah, shout outs to everyone and to you, the viewers. I do not, man, people say I'm your number one fan. I do not have fans. I have family, man. So to the family of Tie the Knot, the online family, YouTube family, TikTok family, man, you guys, thank you so much, because you're the guys who make us what we are, and we will not stop bringing you these beautiful stories. So shout outs to all of you, and shout outs to the biggest man himself, God. Big up on yourself.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey there, my name is Bonnie Chibuka, the podcast host of the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Thanks for watching and listening to my podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the like button. And don't forget to subscribe. Also, leave a feedback on this podcast, because that's how we grow. Thank you very much, and be blessed.
Hello everyone, my name is Bareija Magyezi, aka Emeka the Romantic Mukiga, and I've been hosted on the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Now on this show, we've been talking about where I get my couples from. Number 2, we've been talking about my journey, my whole podcasting journey. How did Tie the Knot come about? We've been talking about where I am at right now in life. Where I am at. And second, the other thing we've been talking about, Makambwagwe. Makamobanje Ezekiel Young. There's that 50K he never gave me from the wedding we did in 2019.
Yeah, from the wedding. Because I did the math.
Mark, that guy must have reached out to you now. But shout outs to you, Uncle Mark. I love you so much. And shout outs to everyone out there. I've been on the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. It's a beautiful show. Please subscribe to this channel, subscribe to this show, like, comment, do everything. And also do not forget to subscribe to the Romantic Mukiga YouTube show, Tie the Knot. We bring you the best. But this is going to be a beautiful conversation on the Ugandan Boy Talk Show. Savura.
It is the longest podcast recorded on the show, so it has good content. Thank you. Wow,
Thank you so much.
Emeka, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
Bro.
I mean, bro, like I wouldn't be on this platform just.
Step one is to make money. If you're not making money, I realize that. Oh wow, like
A profile that people can sort of look up to, and there's so much you can achieve through baby steps. And guess what? Those baby steps.
Yeah, I'm from a beautiful place, the Pearl of Africa. Hailing with a 256, it's in my blood. That's a gem where the mountains rise. With stories untold, the tapestry of cultures unfolding so vibrant and bold. A symphony of stars, a celestial light. The drums beating, echoing through the night, just like a beacon of light. A reflection that's coming up from the now. I'm flowing straight into the heart of Africa with timeless stories untold.
We need steps on a concrete foundation to get up there, prepare for the worst. Cause the bad, I can smell it in the atmosphere. So we sit and organize here with stories that juggle the brain like it's mind games. Twanike chirungi nechibi, ochawule, tulakalira, amatukulira, tebakalirira. Fire mukasoli, ndiulira. It's common knowledge, the type you never had in college. While the wisdom discussing how these thoughts travel back and forth while giving populations info. Lessons from the horse's mouth, like a victim. Peter Tosh lied all night, break the shit stem.
TUBTS Chibos Georgia Soka yongeze dobozi chintu Georgia Uganda Jova nembuza over party linyachi let's talk manye oli tribe chi vibe chi chikbo choli ko manye plan chi bozi yino genda manya kati ono guest chi sanyu ya formula ba yembozi yeri crazy uptown downtown east over west yimiza manye wakwe Jova and rest.
I think this guy is a genius. Talking about him is really difficult, but it's true, he's there. And he has done it.